Now, we're going to talk about Bill C-11 and C-63, but I want to just bring up this story that made a little bit of news. Now, you and I talked a little bit about it this morning, and it was this channel called Real Talk Politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just read this little part, but you said something interesting earlier, but Canadian YouTube channel that was dominating the platform during the country's recent election has vanished after the state-funded Canadian Broadcasting Corporation reached out to YouTube and branded it a content farm in a Friday hit piece. The channel, Real Talk Politics, had over 300,000 subscribers and more than 70 million views in the month of April, according to viewstats.com, making it the third most viewed Canadian news and politics channel over the past 3 months. The funny thing is, you and I hadn't really heard of this channel.
Yeah, which surprised me, not to be all crazy narcissist or anything, but like, I'm in the field, right? I follow journalism and politics, especially online independent media, like a lot. And so I was kind of surprised that I hadn't heard of this channel. But then I went and read from the CBC's perspective. I read the CBC's print story. And I kept on. Now, again, I don't know the details of the story, but let's just speak about it even theoretically. I kept reading the story, wondering where the there was. Like, I'm reading it going, and like, I was waiting to hear the punchline as to what violation this channel had supposedly committed. And I never found it. There were some elements there saying perhaps they had used an AI generated joke by former US President Ronald Reagan, but that was it. What I was noticing, and I watched the video attached, again, this is CBC News, okay? Their outrage seemed to be that they were labeling this thing a content farm, and who cares? Who cares what the CBC is calling it?
They're a content farm themselves. CBC. Like, what do you think? What do you think a newscast is? It's the same formula day in, day out. It's a content farm. It's the same thing. I've worked on thousands of newscasts. It's always like, and Bob is down at the courthouse with the latest. So Bob, what have you got to say? Well, thanks, Tony. The judge ruled blah blah blah. Now back to you. It's a formula. It's a content formula. So they participate in that too if they can't see their own hypocrisy. But
honestly, like, let's break this down etymologically. Like, content is just stuff that is contained. Okay, farm is where you produce things. Like, that's why it's called produce. No, I'm not. Like, seriously. So it was this kind of like looking down the nose tone, which is so classic of, oh, it's a content farm. Number one, who cares what you're calling it?
Who cares? Everything is content. And if it's like they're trying to make up a slur.
And number two, they seemed, sorry, I have to get this little cat dig in here. They seemed mystified as to the fact that people were watching this, so it was getting views, and it was making money.
I know.
Like, apparently those are two alien concepts, I guess, to these folks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the biggest irony is that CBC, to me, was one of the biggest purveyors of misinformation, along with all the other mainstream media during that time. And they still do it. They still are biased. But let's have a quick look at what CBC had to say about this channel. And this morning when I talked to you, got me thinking about something. So I'm going to tell you what that is after this clip.
Democrats keep getting humiliated on national television.
Do you think a trans woman is a woman?
No. You've probably seen videos like this in your feeds before. They're confrontational and partisan.
If it hadn't been for the Democrats and the Biden administration.
This is one of the most popular Canada-based news accounts on YouTube. But it's not really news. It's more like what people call a content farm. We'll break down the formula that makes it so popular and try to find out who's behind this channel. Why would someone start a channel like this? Like, what's it for?
You know, it's for making money.
If you dig into this channel, you could see it has a clear formula. Here's the strategy. Take a clip of a confrontation between a conservative figure and a liberal. Focus on the moment where they humiliate, destroy, or humble that liberal. Add what seems to be an AI voiceover framing the confrontation.
This BLM activist is literally left speechless.
And keep it to a minute or so. This isn't original content. The videos are ripped from Senate hearings, university lectures, or TV shows. It's all part of a bigger trend.
The content farm can take many different forms, but these channels in particular do seem to be using the political content in particular and what they feel is going to drive the engagement.
And that's exactly.
Isn't that awful on so many levels? They're like, this isn't original. You know what it is? It's fair use. We take a clip from here, a clip for there. We do a little comment. That's all good. That's all well and good. It's what they do. I mean, they do that too. It's like they're trying to paint it with, even with the music in the background, like, this is such a bad thing. Look at them. They might actually make some money doing this.
Something somebody wants to watch. Like the entire time I was watching it, again, just taking off my CTF hat and putting on my journalism hat. Because I've worked in newsrooms like most of my life, including mainstream media newsrooms. The entire time I was watching it, I was saying, so
Big deal. Yeah.
so like, if you don't want to watch that stuff, like I personally find it too jarring to have quick little clips. Like I'm old school, I'm Gen X. I like the 3-hour long deep dive conversations. Like I think those are great. If that's not your cup of tea, don't watch it. Like, problem solved. The other element, and again, this is the part where I'm checking the regulations. I'm going to do more of a deep dive into their study and their language they used. But the minister said something to the effect of, she would like to change the mandate of the CBC to include finding out what is and is not misinformation. Basically becoming an arbiter of truth for online content that Canadians see, hear, and share. Now, again, that's just something she verbalized. I don't have like the actual writing of the report in front of me at this moment. But if we continue down this path, then that kind of paints a bad picture when it comes to free expression, because we don't want some government bureaucrat becoming the arbiter of truth.
I do not want a group of people deciding what I can and can't see. I don't want a group of people deciding anything about my life. I'm an adult. I'll make my own decisions.
There must be some other reason for this or whatever. So I have filed freedom of information requests with the CBC, trying to find out what emails were passed back and forth between themselves and YouTube and this content creator, whoever that person or people are. We want to know what's going on. And what's interesting is that the CBC doesn't like sharing information. They black out information all the time. We have to drag them kicking and screaming to share information with taxpayers who fund them. So we'll find out what's going on here.
CBC don't even put comments on their YouTube channel. So you're trying to say you're the Canadian, you're broadcasting for the Canadian public? No, you're not. And at the end of that piece, that reporter who put it together goes, and if you know of any other channels you want us to have a look at, let us know, get in touch. So what, we're going to like go, oh, we don't like this channel. We don't like this channel. We're going to tell the CBC. So that's great that you put in a FOIA request for that. And another thing that I was thinking is that, that maybe the CBC is just grooming us. Maybe this is all BS in a way. And they put this story out to be like, hey, get used to it. This is what we're doing. And we're doing this with impunity because the government is on our side. Mark Carney loves us. He's giving us more money. And so you heard this story about this one mega channel that got flushed down the toilet because we said so. Yeah, that's right. Get used to it. Us and our buddies at the CRTC, this is how it's going to go, Canada. And maybe
this is the problem when it comes to freedom of expression, because it has a chilling effect. It creates self-censorship, right?
100%. I can't even talk like a normal person on YouTube when I'm talking about what happened on a global, because I'm trying to self-censor myself, because I will shadow ban the channel and the channel of anybody that I guest on.
And this is again, it comes down to fundamentals. If groups like ours were not able to speak up, if we were not able to hold protests on Parliament Hill, if we could not hand out, like that's right there, that golden pig statue, if we couldn't hand out golden pig statues to politicians who waste your money in the worst possible manner, if we can't mock the king, then we don't have freedom of expression and we can't speak truth to power. And I would go to the mat for a left-wing oriented organization that was grassroots and trying to hold the government to account too. This is why we cannot have journalists on government payroll.